The following is a special presentation on TNN, the Nashville Network.
It's Friday! Something's gonna happen tonight between the full moon and the streets. Get out of your seat, it's Friday night. Friday night in America. Friday night in America. Keep the lights, hold on tight. It's Friday night, y'all, in America.
TNN Motorsports proudly presents live exclusive coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250. NASCAR's Busch Grand National Stars are on the line, engines running and ready to go. The Speedway has decided to give a hurry-up start to this race tonight, so Sears Die Hard Battery, now with more power when you need it most, presents the starting grid for tonight's 250-lap race. Chuck Bound, first pole since Bristol in August '91. Joe Nemechek, third in points and closing on the outside. Randy LaJoie is on a tear. He qualified third here. So is Mark Martin, who has 4 wins. David Green starts fifth, second in the points, and Todd Bodine, a 2-time winner this year. Row 4, Robert Presley, 3 wins, third in points, and Terry Labonte. In row 5, leading rookie Hermie Sadler and Joe Bessie. Row 6, Jeff Purvis and Roy Payne. Row 7, Bill Elliott and Mike Waltrip with 2 wins this year. Row number 8, Jack Sprague and Rick Wilson. In the 9th row, Bobby Hamilton and rookie Nathan Butke. In the 10th row, best he's ever been in the points, 9th, Bobby Dotter and road racer Brandon Sperling. Greg Clark from New York State and 5th place point man Ricky Craven in row 11. And from here on back, there's just 6 100ths of a second to the rest of the field with Dale Jarrett and rookie Michael Rich in the 12th row, Tracy Leslie and Sterling Marlin in 13, Rick Mascar with Tommy Houston aboard. We'll share the 14th row with Tim Steele and the Davey Allison car. Steve Grissom and Elton Sawyer in row 15. Grissom's the point leader, and Sawyer makes a return to the circuit. Ward Burton, a 2-time winner this year. Jimmy Spencer's car will be started by Mike Wallace this evening. Then rookie Tim Fedua and Jim Bound, and the provisional starters are Tom Peck and Jeff Burton, who picked up a win at Myrtle Beach. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Richmond. We're going to go racing really fast tonight and really soon. I'm Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet. Neil, the list of guys who went home not making the show is almost as good as the one I just read.
Mike, we showed a big crowd in the grandstands a while ago. That's nothing the crowd they had in the garage area this week. 50-something cars showed up to try to make this race. My son was down there. He went home along with some of the top guys in racing. Big field. It's narrowed down to some quality race cars. Going to be a good race.
Some things have changed here on this circuit in the way they do things and in the tire department.
They got the tires, Mike. They're going to let them have 2 left sides, 4 rights. They're limited in tires. They're seeing a lot of wear. One concern tonight is do they have enough tires allotted to make the distance.
And they changed the qualifying procedure and lineup procedure just a bit here. Let's go down trackside to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, thanks, Mike. NASCAR had its 2-minute warning or 2-minute drill in effect here today. After the cars qualified, they impounded them. The crews could not touch them after qualifying except to remove the tape and ductwork from the grill when they block them off for qualifying, and they could put 1 round of bite in the car if they wanted to. This caused a couple guys some problems. Jeff Burton used to qualifying well up front. He had to use a provisional spot, as did Tom Peck. There's more on the tire story. Let's go to Randy.
I can elaborate a little bit more on that. They can change all the tires they want under green. They can change 2 rights and 1 set of lefts under caution. Now, I talked to Vic Kangas, who's his car sitting on the outside of row 1. He said he won't dare change tires under green tonight if he can possibly help it. So we're looking for guys to change tires under caution only. And as Neil pointed out just a moment ago, they're falling off dramatically. The only thing that might help is the fact that the temperature has gone way down here tonight. They said it reminds me of back at Myrtle Beach. That's what the tires are giving up. But the temperature's going down. I think they can run about 50, maybe 60 laps on tires. We'll keep an eye on it here in the pits.
Thanks, Randy. There's a look at Mark Martin's Winn-Dixie Ford. It's the one that's been doing all the winning. He has finished 4 Busch races this year, and he's gone to victory lane every time. You'll be riding with him on board. There's that rear roof camera mount. And here's the circuit's leading rookie. The face cam on Hermie Sadler, who announced today that he and Don Beverly Racing will have Virginia Department of Tourism with them again next year as their sponsor on this circuit. And also, There's a look from the back of Hermie's car, and you'll have Jeff Burton. Now we're on board with Jeff from the roof cam on the back of the Baby Ruth Ford that, as reported, is starting scratch on the field. Now, there are cars lined up behind him. Tracy Leslie and Greg Clark missed the drivers' meeting, so they go to the rear. And Rick Mass' car is driven by Tommy Houston so that he can start his 351st consecutive Busch race. He started them all since the series got its name in 1982. And Mike Wallace is driving in the car that Jimmy Spencer qualified and will get in later in the race.
More on that Tommy Houston deal. In qualifying, he wrecked his car in the qualifying the first lap and didn't get a lap in, so Mass was nice enough to let him take that ride so he continued that streak.
Getting set to go racing. Let's have a look quickly at the Haviland update for this week coming to Richmond. Steve Grissom padded his point lead at Darlington, $166,000 in earnings, 2 wins, 10 top 5s. He's the point leader. But 3 of the top 5 have not yet won a race. David Green leads the goose egg list, but with 5 top 5s and 12 top 10s. Third in points, Joe Nemechek, defending champion, still winless, but 8 top 5s and 10 top 10 finishes. Leading money winner, Robert Presley. He's also the leading Busch regular in wins. He has 3 to Mark Martin's 4. And 5th in the point parade, Ricky Craven, looking for his first career win in this circuit, but 2 top 5s and 12 top 10s. Here's the rest of the top 10. Chuck Bound, former champion. Ward Burton, Tom Peck, Bobby Dotter in 9th, and rookie Hermie Sadler in 10th.
Mike, there's something to look for in this race. We talked about that little bit different procedure. Qualifying, come directly on the line, not changing anything. There were so many cars here, it was critical to get into the field. A lot of these cars have real low gear ratios in them. It turns the engines, a lot of RPM. You're going to have to live with that during the course of this race. 250 laps, it's going to be a test with these little V6 motors. And
we will show you later on a list of the drivers who did not qualify for this event. Holding the speed down as they come off turn number 4, and now the green flag is displayed for 250 laps under the lights. Chuck Bound on the pole, Joe Nemechek right alongside. And they have a breakaway of about a car length, 2 on the rest of the field.
Yeah, pretty gutsy move. There was Nemechek driving that car on the outside, really sailed it down in the corner with Bound, trying to not give up that lead position.
No points for leading laps here, but Nemechek wants to get it out front. Mark Martin in the 3rd slot, and Randy LaJoy in 4th.
Using that outside line, that good arc down in that corner, gets a good swing up off turn 2 with these V6 motors. Keep them wound up. Really ran a good lap there.
Riding with Mark Martin in 3rd place.
Mark Martin is not used to running 3rd lately. He's won so many races, he'll be trying to go right to the front.
Trouble at Sterling Marlin's car right off the stop. He's dropped tail end on the field. Martin in 3rd, chasing Bound, and the leader Nemechek, and Randy LaJoy in 4th. In 5th, David Green, side by side with Todd Bodine.
That's one good thing about these tires. They're wider than they've been running in this series, and it's going to enable these guys to do some side-by-side racing. Real good feel of the car, but will they last?
Darkness descends on Richmond as Todd Bodine will have to drop in line just in front of Robert Presley in the black 59 and Terry Labonte.
Boy, there's something about this nighttime racing that really shows up. The effort these teams put into these race cars, the quality of the paint. The guys really got good-looking race cars, not only fast, but they look nice.
And they run close. A little further back, look at the 2 packs of cars dueling for position. There's Steve Grissom, Ward Burton, Dale Jarrett, Ricky Craven. 3 of the top 10 right in the middle of that pack.
This is that group of cars you were talking about, divided by 600ths of a second. The entire rear of the field was right there in one pack.
That teal-colored car is 05, new car on the circuit, Bobby Hamilton out of Nashville. The Mets Tours, Mowens Fawcett Chevrolet. Right in the midst of that on the outside of Nathan Butke, the rookie from Randleman, North Carolina, in 66, left side of your screen. Bill Elliott battling the agency rent-a-car of Roy Payne. You saw a moment ago. Again, tight pack of 7 cars. Pretty much single file through the top 20. Let's go back up front. Nemechek, Bound, and then a good gap to the battle for 3rd. Well, it's not a battle anymore. 7th place, Robert Presley, Terry Labonte. Mark Martin just let Randy LaJoy sail by into 3rd. Watching from 3rd on back.
I think you're going to see some of these guys. I see Presley, you know, really trying to pace his car there. you're going to have to be careful and see what happened to these tires. These guys in the points battle have got a lot more at risk. Here's Labonte trying to get around Presley. He's not even worried about points. Presley might have to be a little bit conservative, be concerned about falling out of this race.
Bob Labonte, happy guy tonight. His son's on the pole for tomorrow night's Winston Cup race here. Not this son, though. Bobby Labonte stunned everybody with a pole-winning run for the Bill Davis team.
Really been getting better each week. Good run for him.
Riding with Hermie Sadler, he's just behind Joe Bessie, the Auto Palace AC Delco car. Sadler right now in 9th place. Make that 10th place, excuse me. And up front, Nemechek feeling the pressure from Chuck Bound.
Boy, it's going to be, excuse me, it's going to be tough to see who's got the right kind of chassis on the cars. Limited amount of practice, but all of it done in the daytime. And now we're going to nighttime racing. I think it was a big guess on qualifying racing. There's so many factors in how you set the car for this race, and got to see who hits on the right deal.
Chuck Bound has not led a race since Nazareth, but he's about to. His best finish this year, 5th at Martinsville. Well, not this time. And Robert Presley is slowing. Keep an eye on that situation. He is way off the pace up in turn number 3 all by himself, trying to duck down onto pit road in the Alliance Training Center Chevrolet. Top 5 point man. And he makes it to pit road, but a long way to go to get to his pit. It looks like he's just coasting, Neil.
Yeah, he's got the engine open. I think something's happened to it. Boy, I'll tell you that the way the points are going back and forth, he sure doesn't need to have a problem this early in the race with this many cars in the field.
He will make it to his pit, but has already gone down a lap.
Well, we're in Robert Presley's car. They're going under the hood. There's a problem there. The car was not running when they brought it in. I didn't get a chance to talk to Ricky Pearson, who's taking the air cleaner off the car right now. Doesn't seem to be anything other than he just simply lost power. So we're going to keep an eye on it as quick as they get the thing fixed, or we find out a little more about it, Mike. We'll tell you exactly what happened, but the car was not running when he pulled in.
Tough break for the defending champion of this race, Robert Presley. The lead battle remains a hot one. Chuck Bound is not cutting Joe Nemechek any slack. We'll be back with more of the Autolite Platinum 250 from Richmond, live on TNN after this. Tonight's exclusive TNN coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 is being brought to you by Allied Signals Autolite Spark Plugs, guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go. By Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. And by Polaroid Captiva. The pictures stay in until you take them out. Only one big change while we're away. Chuck Bound has slipped back to 4th spot. That moves Mark Martin up into 2nd. And up to 3rd place, Randy LaJoy.
You're in Mark Martin's car. He's wanting to take that inside line away on there, but he's going to have to slide right back out behind Nemechek. He's wanting to get the car inside of him and take that line away, but Nemechek's car really gets up off the corner good.
Here's Martin again going for the lead on the inside on that big D-shaped front straightaway. He may get it going to turn 1 here, at least briefly.
Nemechek's car has worked that outside line as good as any car I've seen at this track. Oh, they've cut together coming off that corner.
Just a bit, and that allows Randy LaJoy to close in. So it's Martin to the lead, and Nemechek is not going to give it up without a struggle. He held off Chuck Bound this way for several laps.
The lap before we saw as they go down in this corner coming up off turn 2, the 60 car pulled over. Look there, there's Nemechek going right back. And here comes Martin up on the inside. There's where they got together just the lap before. Look at Randy LaJoy. He's waiting on somebody to clear out. As these two cars run side by side, they really heat those tires up. 20 car can make a run on both of them.
That's how Mark Martin came up to challenge for the lead when Nemechek and Chuck Bound were battling just this way. Tom Peck has taken his Delco Remy car to the garage, engine trouble. So Martin gets the lead, at least for the moment. And LaJoy looking on. Who will he choose to go with?
Well, after they do this little act they're doing here, running this hard, LaJoy's probably got the best option to get around both of them.
25 laps in, and still we're side by side for the lead. Ford Chevrolet carried up high there. LaJoy almost had a chance to tuck the nose underneath the two of them.
Well, he knows he wants to stick that thing down in 3 deep, but he also knows better. You can get in that position, but you can't hardly pull that pass off.
Chuck Bounds right up in the lead battle, and here's Todd Bodine. It's a 5-some for the lead.
Well, they were worried about tire wear. It won't take long for us to find out what kind of wear they're going to get at this pace.
Nemechek, that outside groove working for him. And Martin, will he tuck in? Nope, going to go right back after it again on the bottom.
I don't know how much patience LaJoie is going to have. He sees an opportunity to get around these guys. Here comes Chuck Bound right back in the middle of it.
Trouble is, any one of them gets up there side by side with Nemechek, and he's going to be right in the same box that Chuck found himself in when he got squirted back to 4th place.
Nemechek's found him a home right there in that outside lane.
You bet.
Good little racetrack here at Richmond, Virginia. Good surface on it that allows this side-by-side racing.
That's Sterling Marlin going to pit road as they're still side by side for the lead. Trouble, Michael Rich, and one car narrowly misses him in the back straightaway. Caution is out.
And here comes the leaders up. The leaders are racing back to the line. They're going to have to go around Rich. There's Nemechek in that outside lane out there. He's got to try to beat him back to the line.
We'll give an attaboy to Brandon Sperling from California. That was the car that missed Michael Rich. We're under caution. First one of the day comes out at lap 28. We'll be right back.
Leave it at that.
They have just dropped the green flag for the restart. Robert Presley back on track, reporting his problems in a moment, and they may continue. He had trouble getting up to speed. 2 cars spun just on the caution. Jim Bound got together with Greg Clark from New York State. But now we're back under green, and they're still going at it.
They forgot we had a caution. They just went and got back into the formation they were in before. And guess what? Randy LaJoie is waiting to see which way to go. Oh, boy, he got the back end hung out, trying to cut the car down under the 60. Got the back end hung out on the blue number 20 car there. Boy, Nemechek is up there in no man's land now. Got up there really high in that corner.
But he's making it work. He's carving a groove for himself up top in the Dentine Chevrolet. As the Winn-Dixie Ford looks like it's going to have the lead here. And again, it's a 5-car battle. Make that 6. Put Mike Waltrip, who's won 2 of these races already this year, right up amongst the leaders.
I'll tell you what, Nemechek's car is really using less tire than the guy on the inside. Mark Martin is really having to pinch his car down. Hold it down low, keep it down off the 87 car. Looks like he's cleared him here going in turn 1.
Riding with Mark Martin, here comes Randy LaJoie underneath Nemechek in that Finaloop car of Dick Moroso, the number 20. They get a little close. LaJoie comes up to take the spot, and he does.
Yeah, you know, Nemechek was content. Once Martin cleared him, he didn't get in there and protect that inside. He wants that outside line and enable LaJoie to get by. You see, look, Nemechek's still in that outside lane back there. He's not going to get out.
And here comes Todd Bodine for 3rd. The fiddle faddle car. Bodine underneath Nemechek, and this will be for 3rd spot. And a pit stop under caution for Jeff Burton, and he is back in the Phil Martossi Baby Ruth Ford. They had to take a provisional, failed to qualify. The hood is up.
Yeah, they didn't seem to be in a big hurry, so it's something bad wrong with the car.
Nemechek now back in 4th. Mike Waltrip is the yellow car in 5th, the Pennzoil Pontiac. Chuck Bound in the Nescafe Pontiac 6th and looking for 5th. Point leader Steve Grissom is back in 18th spot. Bill Elliott in 11th. Joe Bessie 97. Ricky Craven, the 5th place point man, in 99. And Tracy Leslie's got a good car. He had to start last in number 72 after missing the drivers meeting, but he has come along and come up well. Made his way through more than half the field already. David Green, number 2 point man, and number 44. And the 4 car, formerly, those colors were on Ernie Irvin. Now Jeff Purvis out of Clarksville, Tennessee. And that car now owned by James Finch and the Morgan McClure brothers.
You see Bill Elliott, he's working that outside line. Oh boy, 99 got right up under Elliott's car then. You get in a box like this, there's just nowhere to go. You're just driving off the other car. Follow him, try to work as much. Looks like Bessie's working his way
Trouble,
around
turn 2. A car is hard in the wall at turn number 2. And trying to drive away. It's Steve Grissom, the point leader.
And what's amazing is he is driving away.
Yeah.
You get into that wall pretty hard, it usually stops you. He's leading the points. He's got to get that thing back around here.
Well, I thought he crunched it pretty hard, Neil, but the damage does not look to be too bad. Caution for the second time today. 41 laps complete. We'll be right back to Richmond International Raceway, live on TNN after this.
Hit the lights and hold on tight.
Well, welcome back to Richmond International Raceway and the Autolite Platinum 250. We're in Robert Presley's pits right now. This is the problem that brought him in earlier. This is the main part of the carburetor linkage. That's what links it to the accelerator. It broke off the carburetor here. He could get no gas. That's why he couldn't go. They have changed carburetors now. He is back out there, but he lost several laps. Also, while we were away, Jeff Burton brought the number 8 Baby Ruth Ford in behind the wall. We have sent someone down there to find out what's wrong. As quick as we get a report, we'll fill you in. Mike?
Thanks, Glenn. Ray Bestis, Best in Brakes, providing these aerial views of Richmond International Raceway tonight as the field gets set to go. On the restart, let's show you what happened up there in turn number 2 to bring out this second caution flag.
Looks like Grissom got the car sideways. He couldn't tell if he had any help or not, but he just got it sideways. And luckily enough, he did get it slowed down, Mike, before he got in the wall.
We're going back to green at lap 45. Mark Martin, who has won every Busch race he's finished this year, 4 of them.
Like they just gave us a call from the pits. We were talking about the 8 car. They said it had a burned piston, so he'll be out for the night.
Tough break for Jeff Burton. He sounds like Jack Roush motor in that car tonight.
That's a lot to do with this jetting and stuff. Qualifying, going directly into the race, you know, it's kind of a gamble which way to go.
You're looking at the car of Randy LaJoie, driving for Dick Moroso, limited schedule, but boy, he has done the job for Moroso since he's hopped into that seat in both the Winston Cup and Busch Grand National car.
You could tell from the start, he worked his way right up there, trying to, a while ago, get around both the leaders. Mark Martin's been one of the toughest guys in racing, and he's trying to take him on now.
Martin trying to stretch out a little bit of daylight. That's an Oldsmobile with a Buick engine. Buick V6 underneath the hood.
Just about all the General Motors makes use the Buick engine. Some of the Chevrolets have Chevrolets, but most of them have the Buick motors in them. And a lot of that comes, Mike, from the development in Indianapolis with the V6. A lot of parts available for a V6 Buick motor.
But up front right now, it's the Ford. The Jack Roush Ford. The Winn-Dixie car of Mark Martin.
Looks like Mark would get tired of just leading all the races.
Would you?
No,
I don't think so.
It's nice to be greedy.
Let's get down to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, we reported that Jeff Burton burned the piston, and Jeff, things just aren't going your way. Another early exit.
Yeah, something happened with the motor. I don't really know exactly what happened. I can't understand what you're saying, so you have to excuse me. It's frustrating. For the very first lap, the motor wouldn't run. It was real fast through the corner, but you got to have horsepower. This thing's testing us, finding out how tough we are. It's pretty tough to handle.
Well, hope you have better luck next time, and not everybody can understand me anyway, so you're not the only one.
Well,
Mike, there's no way to tell anyone what it's like down in those pits with these V6. It's unbelievable how loud the V6, they're louder than a V8 engine, and when you turn this many loose, they got their work cut out for them to be able to hear anything in there. There's Presley working his way back up, Mike. He had that problem early. Lost a lot of laps, so.
Defending champ of this race. Just up ahead of him, Tracy Leslie and Joe Bessie battling. 72 and 97, then David Green, the number 2-point man, and here comes number 5-point man Ricky Craven on the inside.
I'll tell you what, Bessie's doing a good job. Yeah, there they go, 3 wide down in turn 2. Turn 3, but there's Bessie. He's moved it. We saw him back there with Elliott and some of those guys. He's worked his way to the front.
Hermie Sadler, Ricky Craven. And you're on board with Hermie Sadler.
Look at the shifter, the little white ball on the right, that's the shifter knob. And I'm telling you, they're cranking a lot of RPM. And you see him standing in the throttle, that shifter raises up a lot of torque with these little bitty motors.
What's that right gauge, Neil? Fuel pressure that's bouncing back and forth there?
Yeah, that's the fuel pressure from in and out of the throttle, the seat sitting in the carburetor and all, locking in, locking out, throttle on. But they always tell you when the fuel pressure fluctuates, come in. He'll be coming in. It just looks like that all the time. You know, I can look at them now that I'm on TV, but when I race, I never paid any attention to those gauges. That could have been part of my problem.
I don't think you didn't have any problem. Tommy Houston started this race for Rick Mast to preserve his string of consecutive starts in the Zero Skull Ford.
You know, you got to give a call to Rick Mast, too,
Yep.
because Mast came here. That's his own race car. He's got his own race team. And when he saw Tommy have a little bit of problem, he could walk right over and say, hey, look, you want to drive this thing? You've never missed a race. And here we see him running Mast car. Good move on Rick Mast's part.
Jeff Purvis is on pit road in the Morgan McClure Finch number 4, I guess we'd have to call it. Kodak Funsaver Chevrolet. Look at your top 5. There's Hermie Sadler, and Dale Jarrett has moved up. Back up with the leader, Mark Martin. Continues to roll on this juggernaut of winning Busch and Winston Cup races that is just unbelievable. 56 laps complete. "59 laps complete here at Richmond International." There's a look at that front straightaway as it curves around, and this is the fellow that's been arcing it best, Mark Martin.
That view right there is the view everybody's had lately, the back end of his race cars. You get on a roll like that, and it makes you wonder what has happened for somebody to get that dominant. But Busch, Winston Cup, whatever, Mark Martin has been leading and winning the races. But there's a Jack Roush owns both of these cars, so they're stout.
First to second at 1.5 seconds. Here is Joe Nemechek, and he's been tearing his way through the field after that stop for tires. Pulls around Hermie Sadler. There's a look at Nemechek from Sadler's point of view.
You know, we talked earlier, he stopped for tires, but he also made a chassis adjustment. We talked over and over about him running that outside line. Maybe he didn't want to be out there. Maybe he was chasing the car a little bit. Came in, made some chassis adjustments. He's really flying now.
He's up to about 12th position unofficially, Neil.
And he was 38th, I think, when he restarted this thing. So he's really coming up through the pack.
He pulls to the inside of Dale Jarrett.
That's a brand new car, Dale Jarrett. So I think it was built brand spanking new, and they brought it put on racetrack the first time today.
That's the Pick and Pay Chevrolet. And Nemechek moving back up front. Sterling Marlin, who had trouble early in the race in the Fred Turner car, 7 laps down for Sterling in the number 48 Campio Ford. And Robert Presley, the Alliance Training Center Chevrolet, is 12 laps off the pace with that carburetor trouble Glenn reported.
While we're talking laps, we're at lap 63 right now. This was the window that all of these drivers were questioning tire wear. So we're getting to the territory now where we've got to see if it's going to be okay or if they're going to start having a little bit of a problem.
Well,
we'll just have to see how it plays out.
You'd hate to be the first guy to break the window.
Yeah, because the way you find out is there's a big explosion, or the car either gets so loose you just can't drive it, but it looks like the cars are staying in pretty good shape.
Let's show you the drivers who did not make the field for this race. 52 were entered. 36 started. Long list of drivers who did not qualify. Rodney Combs didn't make the show. Richard Lassiter. We said Tommy Houston didn't make it, or Mike Wallace. They started other cars. David Bonnet, Clay Brown, Chad Chapin, Darrell Waltrip failed to make the show. Shauna Robinson went home. Mike Hovis in the Mike Greenwell car. Steve Hoddick, Jason Keller from Greenville, Brian Ross, the modified ace, and Dave Rezendes from Massachusetts. Casey Elliott, Ernie's son, all had to go home, and they say there's even more cars entered for next Saturday at Dover that will also bring you live here on TNN.
It almost makes you wonder where they all came from all of a sudden. You know, Gant, there, we see the 2-car falling back there. Ward Burton been a strong player all season, having a little bit of problem, but you know, Gant usually qualifies off pace, but if he gets in, he can win the thing.
Right.
He couldn't get in this one, so he had some trouble.
Ward Burton is going to be the first of the contenders to make a stop on pit road under green for tires. Joe Nemechek was in under caution, as was Burton. Jeff Burton made a stop early, but now he is out of the race. So watching Terry Labonte and Joe Nemechek. Labonte, that MW Windows Chevrolet. And look, they're underneath and going past Randy LaJoy, who ran up front early, but now is fading just a bit. Back at 7th, make that 8th place.
Might be that, you know, tires wearing a lot. Here's Nemechek sitting on tires that are really, really fresh. Just driving by these guys.
Mark Martin, the leader. Todd Bodine in 2nd. Here at 69 laps at Richmond International. Martin continues, just wheel his way around the racetrack. Nemechek that you saw there is 5.4 seconds behind this man, Mark Martin.
Well, Neil, you talked earlier about tire wear and how much these cars could possibly be giving up. They'd have to consider pitting. I just talked to Steve Neal, crew chief for Mark Martin. I said, will you pit under green? He said, not if I can absolutely help it. Now, to give you an idea how far these cars are falling off, on lap 10, Mark ran 22.80 seconds around this track. The last 4 laps have all been over 24 seconds. So that's over 1 second now it's fallen off the pace. But they're going to stick it out there. Now, if he's running that, if he's falling off that bad, you wonder how bad some of these guys are that are back around 20th place, Neil.
Well, I tell you, they got their hands full. Mark, his cars fell off a lot, but he's able still to maintain that lead. But the guys behind him are dealing with the same thing, and they're just falling even further back. We saw Bessie in a blue and white car earlier move into the front. Now we see Labonte, and there's Jarrett going around also. He must be having some trouble. Whoa, 3 wide in that corner. Ooh.
Got close. Bessie may complete the pass on Labonte here. No.
There's a lot of room getting in that corner, but it gets plenty tight coming off, so somebody's got to give a little bit.
Martin's still lapping this track at 112.7 miles per hour, just under 24 seconds.
You know, and the pole was right at 100, 117 or 18 miles an hour, I think. 120, so they fell off quite a bit.
Well, Bessie made the pass, and now Dale Jarrett's going to work on him.
I'll tell you what this is going to turn out to be. Who's a real good driver at slipping and sliding.
Yeah.
You know, when you get to the point where things were, oh, see the 45 car right up on the wall. But who can handle a car when it gets a little hard to drive, slipping the rear wheels? Guys, real good finesse with a throttle. He's going to be the one that stays up front. Looks like Martin's got that under control.
Roy Payne a little further back. Battling there with the 45 of Greg Clark. 74 laps complete. And on the point where he has been for most of the night, Mark Martin. Pulling up on Robert Presley, who is 12 laps down. Now here's Tim Steele in the Allison Racing Ford, number 28, pulling up on Hermie Sadler. And with fresh tires, Steve Grissom in 31. The Channel Lock Chevy's back in it.
Mike don't look like he got into that wall and evidently got on that rear bumper section. It's got those roll bars back there and slid down the wall because it doesn't seem to have affected the performance very much.
You know, Neil, I first saw him when he was sliding up to the wall. I thought from all that smoke that he'd already smacked it. And I thought it was a hard hit, but apparently not. He just eased into it. And the car is okay.
Eased into it at about 60.
Ooh. Yeah.
But there's enough bracing on these cars, you can take that kind of lick.
Mike Waltrip around the outside. Tim Steele from Coopersville, Michigan, home of Butch Miller, ARCA racer. They burned a valve or burned a piston just in the last of practice in that 28 car, that Ford this afternoon. And their spare engine was in the spare car. So in 1 hour and 40 minutes, they had to get the engine out of one car and into the other to get him on the line to qualify, and Red Farmer's crew did just that.
Well, I'm telling you what, I've seen Red Farmer take them and take the pistons out of another one and put it in and get in a race. So they're playing his game when they get in a hurry.
Turn 1, a lot of smoke out of one car going up to 2, sliding toward the wall. That's Jimmy Spencer.
There's a lot. I think there's some smoke. I mean, some oil on track in 1. It's going to be touchy on everybody getting in the corner. Looked like when that engine went away, it put a lot of oil on the racetrack. The leaders got slowed down going in the corner.
That car was started by Mike Wallace for points, and then Spencer hopped into it. There's a look at it at the exit of turn number 2, and that snail's trail of oil behind it. We'll be right back. TNN Motorsports exclusive coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. We're back live and under caution here at Richmond International. The pace car was whizzing around here under the caution flag, and not quite all the teams got their service done in time. Randy LaJoy, who ran so close to the front here, got caught with the lollipop sign at the end of pit road. The pace car came around and put him a lap down. Tommy Houston was running second when the caution came out after starting 33rd. There's a look at LaJoy. Tough break for them. They their pit service completed, but could not get away in time as the pace car came around and overlapped them. 82 complete. Mark Martin, class of the field thus far. Don't forget the TNN, who brings you more Busch Grand National racing than all other networks combined, will be on the air a week from tomorrow from Dover, Delaware. Big racing doubleheader on TNN. Saturday the Busch Cars and Sunday Winston Cup on the Monster Mile.
Boy, that's a shame for Randy LaJoie. He was really running good and got caught on pit road.
Yep, so he'll be a lap down when they restart, but of course this one is far from over. You see this curving front straightaway here at Richmond. As they get down toward turn one, probably one of the oddest things about this track, Neil, is how deep they go into the corner before they let off. You'll see some stripes. See where the stripes start right there at the end of pit road? That's about where they let off. I mean, they're already well into the corner before you jump off the gas here.
Yeah, and on a track this size, Mikey, you normally don't use a lot of brakes, but at this place you run the car so deep in the corner, you got to go ahead, stand on that brake, get the car stopped, turn it, and go back the other direction. So it takes a lot of speed in that corner, but you got to stand on that brake pedal to get it turned.
Let's have a look at what brought out this, the third caution of the evening.
Yeah, there's Spencer. The motor just turned loose. Now, watch here. He's getting in. See the rear wheels coming around, oil dumping off his car. He's running over himself. You see him. He goes up a little bit, works the wheel back, and he really is hard to see. The whole inside the car is full of smoke, too, but he did a good job staying off the wall.
Mike Wallace started that car. It is Nemechek now. Bobby Dotter up to second spot as Jim Bown pits, and so does the 75 of Rick Wilson. We'll keep the caution out for a lap or two. Still some speedy drive being put down at turn number one. Packed house along the front straightaway and into turn one and turn four grandstands.
Something about nighttime racing that brings everybody out, isn't it?
It's different. You know, it's kind of like, well, it's like night baseball, day baseball, the whole thing. I think your vision is more focused. You just don't have all those other things going on in your peripheral vision. I mean, you're just focused right on the racetrack where the lights are concentrated. Colors seem brighter, more vivid. Just all different. Let's get down to Randy Pemberton.
Well, we talked about Randy LaJoie and why that pit stop was so long. They took a rubber out of the right front, guys. The car was just pushing. They couldn't do anything with it. So we're going to see he'll start up front here on the restart. So we'll see if that adjustment made any difference for him. He's been running good up late in this season.
Also, car number 0 came in. Tommy Houston came in. We'll check to see if Rick Mast, in fact, got in that car. Houston started it and will pick up the points. One lap will go racing with Nemechek the leader. 21 cars on the lead lap. Bobby Dotter is second. Mark Martin is third. Todd Bodine is fourth. Tracy Leslie fifth. Ricky Craven sixth. And Joe Bessie presently in seventh. Mike Waltrip is eighth. Terry Labonte ninth. Hermie Sadler is 10th. Then it's Tim Steele, Dale Jarrett, David Green, Steve Grissom, and Bill Elliott. That's the top 15.
Mike, here we are. You know, we're talking about how much tire wear we got. Look at the chunks of rubber on the outside of the groove, little black spots all over the racetrack. They used a sweeper and swept it totally clean before the race starts, and now it's all over the track. So they get out of the groove. They got to be careful.
Back to Green, and Randy LaJoie on the outside of Joe Nemechek will try to get back on the lead lap.
He should be able to do it. He's got new tires on the car. Nemechek hit it a little earlier, and there he goes, right on around him.
And up comes rookie Tim Fedor. From Holt, Michigan, the Race Scan Pro Cal Banana Boat Ford. 55. Rick Mast has climbed into the 0 in relief of Tommy Houston. That's Fedor, that black car on the outside of Nemechek. And he, too, is trying to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Nemechek did not pit this time because of the earlier stop. He stayed out. And these guys with fresher tires, they're going to drive right on by him.
Mark Martin looking to the inside of Nemechek, shook the tires just a bit, trying to get down to the bottom. Will he get the lead back?
You almost would say he should because of the real fresh rubber he has.
Remember, with the tire rule, you can change left side tires only once during this race and right side tires only twice. So
yes,
that may be why Nemechek did not come in under this caution.
You're exactly right. It's kind of like having money in the bank. You make too many withdrawals and you're out early. And I'm telling you, they got to put some stuff in the bank for the end of this race.
We're just past 1/3 distance. This race used to be 200 laps. It's now 250. Three leaders so far. Nemechek, Martin among them. Now Todd Bodine looking for second. Chuck Bown also led the race. From the pole.
There's Nemechek. He's having to give up a few positions because of that earlier stop now. But the track positioning was good for him early. He worked his way right to the front.
Hey, who's been impressive is Tracy Leslie. Started last after missing the driver's meeting.
Yeah, his car's making up for missing that meeting. He's coming right up through the back.
That's the Detroit Gasket Chevy, number 72 for Leslie out of Mount Clemens, Michigan. This pack is 1.5 seconds behind the race leader.
Ricky Craven down on the inside.
Craven, top of your screen, low lane. Looking to the bottom, he's gone past lap car of Sterling Marlin, and now he's under Nemechek.
I'll tell you, Nemechek's stance is right here. He's got to fight for everything he can because that new will go away in a hurry on those other guys' tires, and then they'll virtually be running the same speed he is. He's just got to fight for everything he can right now to not let the leaders get too far away from him.
Yeah, but these first 10 or 12 laps after the restart with everybody else on fresh tires, that's just got to be maddening to a driver. You know, big smoker down the front straightaway, and we've grenaded another one. Terry Labonte. The MW Windows Chevy has put the caution out for the 4th time. Here's the battle back to the line. LaJoie gets his lap back. Beetlewood does not. So we're under caution, and we'll be back to Richmond International Raceway after this word. We're back at Richmond International Raceway. Crook and Chase will not be seen tonight due to our live coverage of tonight's race. So the 3 first prize winner of Wrangler's Dress Your Best and Then Head West sweepstakes will be announced during Nashville Now. Nashville Now will immediately follow tonight's race. So tune into that. Piloting our Ray Bestis chopper today, Kerry Shelton. Cameraman Laritz Karoff of Melbourne, Florida, giving you these fine pictures courtesy of Ray Bestis, the best in brakes.
Mike, we just had a call from the pits. The 28 car of Tim Steele said they've lost a cylinder, so they're down to 5.
And that's the second engine for the weekend or for the day for Tim. Tough job for these Busch crews, Neil, because they came in, they didn't unload until this morning and had to do everything all in one day. Practice, 1 round of qualifying, put the car on the line, and let's go racing.
You tell me about it. I've been in the trenches all day with David. That's it. There we see the 28 car. They've got a problem again, but Mike, it was unique. They came in here, they unloaded the cars, go to inspection, practice, qualify, put them on the line, start the race. Quick procedure, hopefully trying to come up with something cost saving. We'll just have to see how it works out.
So Tim Steele back on track.
If it's going to be on track, it's going to be questionable if he beat the pace car out.
1 to go, we'll go racing. And Tim Steele will not drop a lap. Riding with Hermie Sadler. One of the rookies in this race, Brandon Sperling, has an interesting weekend. He gave up qualifying at Mid-Ohio in his Xerox Saab open wheel car to run here, make his Grand National debut. He'll go run the feature there Sunday, start from the back.
Mikey did a tremendous job, too, coming in. As big a field as this was, and a lot of the top-name guys went home. I'm telling you, he did a good job rolling here, set the car in the field, even.
He is he is John Force's next-door neighbor.
No wonder he's here. I'd leave home, too.
In Yorba Linda, California. How about that? Green flag waves at lap 100, and Mark Martin gets a big jump on Tim Steele. Robert Presley trying to get back one of his 12 laps. He's on the outside. Lead cars are on the inside row. And there they go.
One car got a little bit high up there, and everybody going around him.
Speed away.
You know, you was talking about John Force. He went to driving school. He was going to try some of this.
Yeah. Till he and Buddy Baker got done with him at driver's school. He had some fun, though.
I'm telling you, I'd like to see Force getting in one. He'd be excited.
We may show you some of that footage when we get to Rockingham. That's where Force and I went through Baker School, had a lot of fun. John had a lot of fun down the straightaways.
John always has fun.
Mark Martin's having fun right now.
Boy, the front brake rotor was cherry red going down in the corner there.
And Tracy Leslie's the guy right with him. Behind him, Todd Bodine and Ricky Craven battle for 3rd. Craven there in 99, going to go his own next year. He's going to leave J&J Racing, form his own team for 94. Keep DuPont with him as your sponsor. Todd Bodine, of course, running Winston Cup for Butch Mock now.
Whoa.
And almost running away with it right there. Nice save.
Yes, sir. That's as bad as out of shape as you'll get him without going in and finishing the wreck.
Mike Waltrip moves up underneath Bodine. Let's see that again.
Yeah, you know, he was getting a little bit of pressure from the rear, putting a little bit of heat on him. He sails it in the corner, maybe just a little bit deeper than he did before. Watch the rear wheels come out under him. See the big correction to the right with the front wheels?
Wow.
And now he's all the way back left. You're anticipating that car straightening up, and you crank it back before it ever does, or it starts swishing back and forth, and you lose it. Good job right there.
That was 2 handfuls of right turn.
Just need one of them little knobs on the wheel when you start doing this.
A little Brody knob, or Necker's knob, I guess we called it.
Yeah, they had little pictures on them when I saw them before.
Back to the 60s. So Mike Waltrip from the Pennzoil Pontiac will get underneath Todd Bodine. And that 48 is Sterling Marlin, who is 7 laps behind. Little gap back. Here's the battle between Joe Bessie, Joe Nemechek, and Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, those little extra miles on those tires seem to be catching up with Nemechek a little bit right now.
But he's still on the lead lap and still very much in contention with 150 laps to go here. Watching out the back of Mark Martin's car where he sees the whole rest of the field. He leads it right now. We'll be right back. Exclusive TNN coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 is brought to you by Avalon Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. 112 laps complete coming up on halfway. We just had a lead change about 15 seconds ago. Tracy Leslie, whose first career win in this circuit came at Indianapolis Raceway Park this year, put the move on Mark Martin.
He did something a lot of people haven't been able to do for a long time as he passed Mark. See Mark's car hanging the rear out just a little bit. Might be a tick loose right now. Look at the brake rotors on the left front. The 60 car, you see them cherry red in there.
Let's show you how Leslie did it at lap 112.
See him run up on the back straightaway, and Mark's not going to really fight him off. He knows the car's getting loose on him. He just lets him have that inside line, drops right back in behind him, and then goes on with the race. 10
lead changes now among 4 drivers. Bound, Nemechek, Martin, and Tracy Leslie.
I think Mark's car's getting a little bit of trouble. I see the left front wheel. You can see that rotor in there, cherry red. When he goes in turn 3, he's having to use more brake than he wants to. The back end's trying to get out from under him. He's running the car and really having to stand on the brake to get it slowed down.
That's 2.5 seconds back to this battle for 3rd place. Ricky Craven had it. Mike Waltrip wants it.
And Craven still got it. And Waltrip wants it again.
A lot of give and take at this racetrack.
Yeah, don't give anything, take all you can. This front straightaway with that bow in it, the guy on the inside kind of heads you off at the pass. And inside, oh, look, Waltrip, he got under him, but see the car really twitching around up off the corner with him. Here comes Craven right back. Take a look on that inside.
Leader still running about 23.3 seconds. That's Tracy Leslie. This battle for 3rd. Todd Bodine is 5th. 6th is Dale Jarrett. 7th, Joe Bessie. Chuck Bound. Elton Sawyer up to 9th. That pack with Bill Elliott and Nemechek up on the outside. Whoa. And Rick Wilson getting turned by Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, they got together. We've been seeing that all day, all night. Somebody trying to cut across them going in turn 1. Every now and then you miscalculate. Boy, they tangled up getting in the corner.
Wilson, though, right back at it.
Or is Nemechek giving up that ground? He's going to have to get that caution and get those tires changed if he can.
He's in 13th now, but still on the lead lap. He's at 14th. And about to be 15th with Hermie Sadler going past.
Well, that's all you can do. You can't go but just so fast as that tires will let you. And right now he's got a little bit of a problem. He's just going to have to pedal that thing and hope he gets a chance to get them changed.
Well, Hermie's had a busy night, but just as we came back with from break, he and Bill Elliott got together. They were pretty well stacked up in traffic. We'll show you that one.
Yeah, you see Hermie on the inside. He slides up. Him and Bill Elliott get together right there. Cost both of them a lot of ground on the racetrack.
Yeah, Hermie caught a little bit of the back of Bobby Hamilton's car. Got up in the groove right in front of Bill. He didn't have much of a place to go. Back up front, here's your lead battle. Mark Martin may have let Tracy Leslie go for the lead, but is certainly not letting him go away. 121 laps complete, halfway in 4 more circuits as caution comes out for Jim Bound's engine. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Richmond, and my error as we went to break. The caution was out for this car, Mike Waltrip's number 30, the Pennzoil Pontiac, dragging the track bar and problem on the right front corner, as you see there. It was not Jim Bound's automobile.
Yeah, but it looked just like Jim Bound's. I thought it was too.
Unlucky guess. Here's what happened.
It looks like the rear track bar broke going down the corner. You see the sparks on the left rear side, and watch the body run around on the rear. That is the track bar. The big sparkler on the rear is the rear bar that hooks onto the housing that keeps it centered on the car. And then he came around and stopped, and the right front caught on fire then. So he had excitement on each end, Mike, at the same time.
And hopped out.
They were coming with a Gatorade, but they beat them with a fire extinguisher.
Right.
If you don't win and dump it on you, they use it for fires.
That's it. So that'll be the night. That'll be the evening for Mike Waltrip. Most of the leaders came in on this caution. Tracy Leslie and Mark Martin stayed out. So did Todd Bodine and Dale Jarrett, Joe Bessie. I think Ricky Craven was the first of the lead cars to pit. Here's Chuck Bound on pit road.
Okay, here's what we're looking at with this tire deal. See the man on the right front. Normally we change tires. He's working with air pressure. They don't have the luxury of pulling tires off, putting new ones on. And the car's not handled like he wants to, where you normally change tires. He's adjusting the air pressure to try to make the car better.
It's crew chief Jeff Hensley. A couple of battle scars on the right side there.
Mike, ever since we went to the radial tire, that took the stagger away, but they found out they can work with that air pressure, and the stiffness or hardness of that tire, depending on air pressure, is just like stiffening or softening a spring. So they've learned to work with that now.
Let's get an update from Mark Martin's pit. Here's Randy.
Well, I'll tell you what, they were adjusting the pressure on Chuck Bound's right front. When the brake rotors get hot like that, it can also increase the air pressure in these cars. It kind of changes the spring rate. That car was tight. Now, speaking about Mark Martin, he came over the radio, talked to Steve Neal, the crew chief. They need to go to lap 160 on fuel before they can fill it up and make it the rest of the way. So that's why they didn't come in. But they'll change tires when they come in the next time.
Thanks, Randy. Halfway sign just given, and we'll go green this time. Mike Waltrip out of the race, forming a new Busch team for 1994 with Jeff Green, who is from Mike's hometown of Owensboro, Kentucky, as the driver. Green flag. Presley trying to get one of his 12 laps back. Make that 10 laps back. He's now posted. He has made up 2.
You know what? Something just doesn't sound like 10 is much better than 12. He's a bunch down.
Well, still a ways to go. Ricky Craven had a long stop. He's just coming back out of the pits. May have fallen off the lead lap here.
There's Presley. He's going to try to get it to 9 down. He's trying his best. Like you say, Mike, you can never tell in this stuff. He can start whittling it down, get a few laps back, and it'll help him in that points battle.
Now Presley in that 59 car will move up to Winston Cup next year to drive for Larry Hedrick. Mark Martin to the inside.
We're going to see 3 of them will work in this corner. No, Martin cleared them all because I guarantee those other 2 had to keep racing.
Report on Ricky Craven's car, it's overheating. So when Presley moves up, that team says they've had all kinds of phone calls of people who want that seat. They haven't had to call anybody. Everybody's calling them.
I don't doubt that. That thing with Ricky Pearson, that 59 car, that is a strong race car. If he leaves it vacant, it'll be vacant for just about a second.
Right. Craven is the lap down, we're told. Presley cuts the car alongside Tracy Leslie. All this is going on. It's allowing Mark Martin to get away. You see his lead there, 2 or 3 car lengths. As we bring you this Napa Field standing update. Brought to you by Napa because there are no unimportant parts.
Mike, we just got a call from the pits, and they said that the 87 car of Nemechek put 4 tires on. So he's used up all of his tire allotment, the best I can count. If he put 4 on that stop, he's got everything he's got on the race car.
And he's only halfway.
See, Leslie's trying his best. If he can ever get the 59 behind him, he can use all the racetrack again and try to run Mark Martin down. But having to run that inside line really abuses your car.
Well, you wonder too, Neil, why not let the 59 go? He's 10 laps down. If he's going to run alongside you all this time, if you let him go, you can go back and run your normal groove like these guys aren't doing.
There's something about racers that common sense doesn't enter into what you do once the green flag stops. I saw that happen quite a bit.
Rick Wilson underneath Bill Elliott there, right side of your screen.
You know, Mike, we go to a little short track and we'll see people follow each other in line. And say, why do we follow in line?
Right.
And then we'll go to places and we'll say, why do they run side by side?
Yeah.
And if it was able to run 3 abreast, they'd do that. Racers are going to race no matter where you put them. There we see the 20 car working itself back in contention. He got that lap down. LaJoy, but he's trying to get back up there again.
Yep, he's in 9th place battling Joe Bessie and Hermie Sadler.
There was no question he had a real quick car to start the race.
Those are all lead lap cars.
There's LaJoy coming up on Hermie Sadler. The LaJoy car really works good. Look how good the chassis working the car right around that apron. And he's going to try to get the nose up on the inside. There's Nemechek. We talked about him earlier, yep. Mike. He's got those 4 fresh tires on. And here's what kills you. You say, boy, I got me 4 fresh tires and they got me in a box. You can't use them.
Yeah, it's in 13th place and coming back. One driver we've not talked much about, and perhaps we should, is Elton Sawyer. He's been off the tour for 2 years. His last race at Watkins Glen a couple of years ago. He made this field when a lot of top cars didn't. And Elton Sawyer is right now sitting in 3rd place in car number 38. There he is, the Ford Thunderbird. That's the Akins and Sutton Motorsports car. Brad Akins, Bob Sutton put that car together for Elton to drive with the blessing of Bill Davis, for whom Sawyer works during the week preparing Bobby Labonte's Winston Cup car that just happened to sit on the pole here tonight. And the Davis team freshened up the engine in this car, picked him up a bunch of horsepower. He got it into the show, and now he's running in 3rd.
That's pretty darn impressive. 2 years out of the seat, jump back in there and get in the middle of a field like this. He's doing a good job.
Tim Fedowa battling the 2 black cars. Robert Presley both laps down. Fedowa 1 lap down in 18th position. On the point, I'd say as usual, but it's at least as usual lately. The run Mark Martin has had.
But I tell you what, there's Mark leading with the 72 car. Once he got around Presley and didn't have to contend with him, I think he's doing what he did early. He's gradually reeling Mark in. And it's going to be gradual because you got to tiptoe.
Look at Todd Bodine, the Fiddle Faddle Chevy. He's moved past Sawyer and up into 3rd place behind Mark Martin and Tracy Leslie.
Well, guys, he's still got the pedal to the metal, but he just came over the radio. His voice had a sound of urgency to it. Said, fellas, the motor feels like it's ready to let go. Possible broken valve spring, but he feels like the motor couldn't let go. The RPMs are shooting up on the Fiddle Faddle car.
Well, if it feels real good, hang on.
Yeah, right.
If it all of a sudden performance increases, something is fixing to happen.
Well, Mark Martin on the point here, 139 laps complete at Richmond. Exclusive coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 on the Nashville Network is brought to you by Allied Signals Autolite Spark Plug. Guaranteed for 2 years, no matter how far you go. Mark Martin continues to lead. Tracy Leslie, Elton Sawyer, Todd Bodine, and Rick Mast up into 5th. Good battle here back in the pack. Steve Grissom had been running with this pack and pulled away from him. Now it's Joe Bessie just ahead. You see Robert Presley coming back on track after stopping for tires. Lead is 1.3 seconds. This battle is for 12th place. See Ward Burton, who is 2 laps down in the midst of it. And now Grissom, who is 10 seconds behind the leader, is just in front of this pack with Bill Elliott et al. For 12th. That's Elliott and Bessie side by side for 12th place. A lot of smoke. One car scoots up the racetrack, turn 2. Nathan Butke, caution is out.
Mike, as he went down the front straightaway, something broke on the car, poured oil. There's a big strip of oil going in turn 1 and 2. And boy, there were cars all over the racetrack dodging it. Good call by NASCAR. Quick call and caution.
102 laps to go as Butke pulls onto pit road. We're under caution. We'll be right back. 100 laps to go. Ricky Craven's car would not fire after the pit stop, so they're pushing it back up pit road. Crook and Chase won't be seen tonight due to tonight's race coverage, but Ralph Emery in Nashville Now will be seen live following tonight's race. Ralph will have Ray Price, Florence Henderson, and the Osborne brothers as his guests, and they'll announce the winners of Wrangler's Dress Your Best and then Head West sweepstakes during Nashville Now, right after the conclusion of tonight's race. Our next stop for TNN Motorsports, Dover, Delaware, the Monster Mile. And next weekend, a week from tomorrow, you'll see the Split Fire Spark Plug 200 with these Busch Grand National cars. Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, live. And then Sunday, also at Dover, the Split Fire Spark Plug 500 for Winston Cup cars, live at noon Eastern time from the Monster Mile. Shots from our Ray Bestis aerial cam. Ray Bestis with Best in Brakes, giving you these aerial photos here of Richmond International.
We keep talking about Nashville now. We got to get Shotgun Red to come to the races one time. I see him all the time on TV. He's got to be a race fan.
Yeah, he ought to come. We'll just prop him right up here between us.
Talking about between us. Here's Nemechek. We did check with him during the caution.
Well, let's go to Glenn and find out what the story is.
So tell me about it.
Well, Neil, they have used all 6 of their free tires under caution, but this caution was the best thing could have happened to Nemechek. It came only about 20 laps after he put his last 4 tires on. Now, once the cars get out there and get running, he's only going to have about 20 laps more on his set of 4 than Mark Martin and the rest of the field. So this might equalize things pretty much for Joe. They feel like they're in a lot better shape now.
Trying to get the restart green here. On the tail end of the lead lap, Tim Fedewa. Nemechek is the race leader. And Presley, after that stop under green, is 11 laps down, going for 10. Still fun. You're right.
But I'll tell you what, Presley's a racer, though. He's going to race you, and you can't hold that against him. Well, that's what this thing's about, and he's going to try to get those laps back.
Front straightaway, turn 1. Dale Jarrett coming up. That's the yellow car for the lead.
Ooh, boy, almost wanted Nemechek to see him outside out there. Really pinched him up on the wall. He knows he's there now.
You bet he'll see him now. Rick Wilson is now up to 3rd. He's past Hermie Sadler. Jack Sprague through the lap down. There's Martin underneath Sprague and Chuck Bound moving up. Chuck Bound takes a spot away from Sadler. And Ricky Craven, whose car did get running, back in the pits under green. Randy LaJoie, Mark Martin. LaJoie got a reprieve from the governor when he got his lap back after a restart. And up front, Jarrett tries the bottom this side.
Got up under him. Took that line away.
Yep. You can't get pinched up into the wall when you're on the inside.
No, you might get in the wrong place one time, but the second time it's your fault.
Yeah, right. Now, Jarrett pitted on lap 150, Nemechek on 123. So the 32 car of Dale Jarrett has tires that are 27 laps fresher and only have 8 laps on them. That's what allowed him to make that move with ease around Nemechek.
And like I said earlier, that's a brand spanking new race car. A turnkey car. They bring it to the track, and as long as you just turn the switch on, you're ready to go racing.
Now Fedewa will fall a lap down to Jarrett, most likely.
Now there's Presley. Jarrett sees he's going to have to go the outside. He makes that move before the 59 car was getting the inside trying to get it back. But look who's coming over their shoulder there, the little black 60 of Mark Martin. Didn't take him long to come back up through there.
Why has Mark Martin done so well in recent weeks in both the Busch and the Winston Cup cars?
Mike, it makes you wonder, just like he said repeatedly, we put out the same effort, all of a sudden everything's clicking. That Busch car has led how many races, how many chances to win, and had a problem. And in the Winston Cup car, it's finishing races up front and winning races. They just got all their stuff going, and Jack Roush really makes a lot of things happen. Mark is getting the job done.
There's that 20 car Randy LaJoie moving up on the leaders as Mark Martin takes second away from Nemechek. Neil, I think there's something more to it. Remember in September, a couple years back, Harry Gant won all those races. GM engineer Terry Satchel put that cambered rear end under the Winston Cup car. Harry said, I want it in my Busch car. And both of those cars started flying and won races. I think Jack Roush's team has found something in the chassis that they're able to put under both race cars that has made them just a little bit better than everybody else.
There could be something to that, Mike. You know, all of a sudden he started running like this, and it makes you wonder what could be the overlapping deal that's working. Here's a pass for the lead. Mark Martin driving right up under the 32 car.
So Martin goes right up front where he's been most of the night, with Dale Jarrett dropping to second place. And that little V6 Ford in the Busch car that we're watching on board with Mark Martin, the V8 in their Winston Cup car, and both those cars have just been able to run through the pack with ease over the last month or so. And to add fuel to that fire, Wally Donelback, Watkins Glen, finished second. Wally's a great road racer, but on that day, too, he had a great car. LaJoie might have got a little bit into the back of Dale Jarrett right there. Takes second.
I'm not so sure LaJoie has got maybe the car that can race with him good.
Elton Sawyer in the Akins of Sutton car. Rick Mast in the Zero. Both having good runs here.
Hey, Sawyer really getting the job done in his race car to be out of it for 2 years. And this is really getting on with it. And the cars he just won are good quality cars.
Well, he may have been out from behind the wheel, but he's never left. I mean, he's been working with Bill Davis and hoping for a chance to get back behind the wheel of a race car and do well. And Bill and Gail Davis supported that. And he's really showing well here tonight. Dale Jarrett now finds himself in third behind Martin and LaJoie.
Well, Mike, there may be more than just tires with Dale Jarrett. He has reported to his crew chief, John Irvin, that the engine is skipping, it's missing, and you can see him falling away quickly there. So there's more to it than just tires. He's got a bad problem with the engine. Just going to have to try to ride it out.
Tough break for the Daytona 500 winner. Running in his own car here. In third place and trying to hold that. How about Randy LaJoie? Second at Talladega, second at Darlington, running second here. There's Robert Presley and Tim Fedowa battling Hermie Sadler, riding with the circuit's leading rookie.
So this is what it feels like to do it the hard way. Ease on that outside, get up there on the edge of that real loose rubber on the racetrack, try to put somebody down. Looks like he made it work around the tough side of the racetrack. Now you head him off the pass when you get here.
Sadler is 15th. He is still on the lead lap here. Mark Martin leads. Randy LaJoie, Dale Jarrett, Joe Nemechek, Tracy Leslie. 75 laps to go here at Richmond International Raceway. But the battle rages on, and they're chasing this man once again, Mark Martin. Randy LaJoie, the second place car. Tracy Leslie is third. Dale Jarrett in fourth, and Rick Wilson now in fifth. Elton Sawyer is sixth, and Joe Nemechek seventh.
But look at Randy LaJoie, how close he is now.
He's closing in. Let's check on the tire situation of the two leaders. Here's Randy.
Well, basically, guys, Mark Martin took on all four under that last caution. That's the last free four that he has during a caution flag situation. As far as Randy LaJoie goes, his left side tires he took on lap 126, so about 22 laps prior, they took on right side. The crew chief, Dick Mayer, came over the radio and said, please take it easy. You got to get 100 laps out of these tires, and please be careful with those brakes.
Trying to conserve that race car, but he is closing in.
Did you see that brake rotor on that thing, cherry red? Take it easy on the brakes. He's got them lit up, it looks like.
I'm sure the crew sees it every time he heads into turn one right here. Dennis Conner, longtime respected Winston Cup crew chief, has been helping out with the chassis setups on that Moroso car for Randy LaJoie these past few weeks, and the car has run extremely well.
Getting into turn three right here. It seems to be where LaJoie can really pull in on Mark. The little motor in that thing rouses. Roush puts together V6 and strokes it up that straightaway. So LaJoie is really working him hard in the corner.
LaJoie, second-generation driver from East Norwalk, Connecticut. His dad, a modified grade at the Danbury Race Arena, was on hand at Talladega when we showed you that race live on TNN, and Randy picked up that first second-place finish. Leader's still running, Neil, about 23:30, 115.6 miles per hour around here.
And watch in this corner. This is where LaJoie makes up the distance, right here in turn one. See him close that gap right there, and then watch this thing on Mark really arc up the straightaway.
Just lapped Todd Bodine. His car's falling off the pace a bit.
We had word earlier it might be the alternator or something like that, but evidently it's more than that. Might be some kind of motor problem. You see Mark will lead him to right here, and LaJoie's been able to close it up as they go in his first turn. Cuts that corner really close right there. Gets it within a car length. And Mark gets it all back the rest of the way around.
But if you're picking up on somebody coming in into the corner, are you using up brake, or using up tire, or a little of both?
You're using both. Plus, that right front is really getting the work out. When you drive that thing off, you virtually stand it on that right front wheel, and that's what the crew was talking about. Hey, think about that right front tire. Think about the brakes. So, but you don't have a choice. Mark Martin is kind of dictating what LaJoie does. If he's going to beat him, he's got to run that pace right here.
And to beat Mark Martin, you've got to beat the success that they have had week in and week out here. He's always been a very intense driver, always very confident, but now very composed, all because of winning.
It means an awful lot to me. When I climb in that thing, I believe in my heart that I've got everything that we know how to do in that race car. And if that's not good enough, I can accept that, because we've done all we know how to do.
Winning is its own validation as you're looking back from Mark Martin's car. Earlier this year, he made a video with his buddy Sammy Kershaw. Mark driving Sammy around in his car a lot. And you'll notice on the right doorpost of Martin's car, like many of the others here in this race and in the Winston Cup garage, a white 7 and that flash orange number 28 for Alan Kulwicki and Davey Allison. Well, Sammy Kershaw was pointed out a letter from Cindy Platt from New Jersey in one of the racing papers this week, that at every Sammy Kershaw concert, he opens his first encore with a tribute to Alan and Davey and a James Taylor song, and I always thought that I'd see you again. There it is on the doorpost. Remembering Alan Kulwicki and Davey Allison. Neil, the word is Sammy Kershaw is going to have his own Busch Grand National team next year, run 10 or 12 races with perhaps Jimmy Spencer as the driver.
I tell you, we just see more and more depth coming into this sport. The Busch Series, you go in the garage area, they got the big tractor trailer rigs. It looks like a second Winston Cup division just sitting in that garage. Good quality equipment.
Bobby Dotter in 9th place. You saw there briefly down on the inside. There's that yellow car, sponsorless here at Richmond. But Dotter currently in 11th, trying to hold on to a top 10 point position.
You know, week in and week out, Dotter does a good job with that car. Like you say, here it is sponsorless. The guys run good enough. Every week, I think he'll land the kind of sponsorship he needs. He does a good job.
They say they have a couple of deals working for 1994. Trying to get under him, David Green, the number 2 point man in the Slim Jim Chevrolet, owned by Bobby Labonte. David McGee, he left that team this week as crew chief. And Bobby's dad, Bob, has taken over a lot of the responsibilities there. 62 laps to go here at Richmond International. Mark Martin continues to lead. In the pits of Randy LaJoie, and here is Elton Sawyer, sparks flying. Looks like he's tagged the wall and damaged the right side of the car. He's up in turn 2. Flagman looking at him. Car has rolled to a stop. Caution. Joe Nemechek gets caught in the pits.
It makes me wonder, are they going to call this a green stop? You know, if he got in there before, it might come to be at his advantage if he can get out of that thing and not cost him much time.
I think you're right, Neil. Glenn?
Well, Mike, he had radioed in and told Vic Kangas that the car was very, very tight. Randy LaJoie just went by. The right front tire went down on his car. That's what happened to Elton Sawyer to bring this caution out. But Nemechek has brought it in for a 4-tire change. The car was extremely tight. They had already made up their mind to pit anyway, and as you said, he got on pit road before the caution came out. There must be something on the racetrack, because I've seen 2 cars come by here now. The right front went down as they went into turn 1.
Nemechek was on pit road before the caution flag came out, so it will count as a green stop and not count against his tire allotment. But Neil, I believe he's lost a lap in the process.
Hey guys, same thing on Randy LaJoie's car. They just came by and said flat right front, so we're going to wait for his arrival. He's coming down pit road as well.
And I think he'll lose a lap.
Makes me wonder what the call is here. Now, he's used his allotment up, but when you have a flat like this, do they take that into consideration? What would the call be here?
I think they would, Neil. Like in Winston Cup racing, you can change so many tires unless a tire is down. You would hope the same rule here would apply.
I'd check them for knives, see if they punch any more holes while they're in there.
You never knew anybody did that. Chuck Bowen is in as well.
Well, they are just replacing the one damaged tire, so maybe that will be the call, that he had a problem there and to correct that one tire. But boy, let me tell you what, you're talking about something tough to drive now. We've seen over and over how much better the new tires work. He's got a brand new one on the right front and an old one on the right rear. When you go in the corner, it turns, and it wants to turn all the way around.
He'll beat the pace car around this time. Elton Sawyer is back in. Hermie Sadler, Robert Presley, and Tim Fedewa all making pit stops under this caution flag. Roy Payne is in. Sterling Marlin. We'll be right back. TNN's exclusive coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. Well, about cars coming in and taking on more tires under caution than their allotment, Glenn, what's the deal?
Well, if a guy elects to come in under caution and use up more than his allotment, Mike, he's subject to a 2-lap penalty. The NASCAR official told me, though, that he made the judgment call that he got there before the caution came out, so he got 4 tires, but he is a lap down.
Talking about Joe Nemechek, who is, well, he was 1 lap down, Glenn. He's now just got back on the lead lap with fresh tires. He has passed Mark Martin. And we'll double check. There might have been a couple other drivers who came in under caution and took tires as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, now if the caution comes out, Nemechek is sitting in the driver's seat literally. Yep. He's got 4 new ones.
Look at this pack. Fedewa outside of Rick Wilson. Rick Wilson is the 5th place car. In 75, the Charlie Henderson Food Country car.
Boy, they're getting together, really banging on each other coming off that corner.
And let's correct on Nemechek. He was 2 laps down, lost 2 under green. He is now 1 lap behind the leader. But he did not get back on the lead lap, but he did get 1 back.
Boy, look at them bouncing off each other coming up off that 2nd turn over there. Excuse me, the 4th turn. 1 car slips and they just run all over each other.
Steve Grissom, or rather Ward Burton, coming into the pits. He will get tires. Grissom is just going out, pitting under green so as not to lose a lap. Jack Sprague, the Staff America car. And David Green trying to get back at Grissom in the point chase in that Swim Gym 44. Green on the lead lap in 9th place. Grissom will fall off the lead lap as a result of that stop. Stacked up. Rush hour Friday night.
Trying to outslide each other right now.
Right.
Everybody's calling pits. And my car's sliding. Mine's doing this, mine's doing that. They want to tell you just shut up and drive. Everybody's doing it. That's about the name of the game now. Back up, had him tell me that. Shut up and drive.
Bessie got together there with Rick Wilson.
They have leaned all over each other since this last restart.
Oh, yeah. Hey, who's catching that pack is Steve Grissom. Now the 31 car at the back of that pack and coming hard.
See Grissom coming in, got those new tires.
Yeah, and look at the ones on the right side when he comes around on Grissom's car. This is one of those Polaroid photo fake-out deals. See those wheels? Mike Waldrop's, you're right.
Just the minute poor little Mikey's car broke down on him, they had an auction.
Yeah.
And the 31 won the bid.
That's it.
Either that, if they're thinking that's a good paint scheme, they got to rethink that. Yeah, it just doesn't go with that very well.
Yep. The taste police would put him about 2 laps down right now. Look at this 3 wide. LaJoy, Dodder, Wilson.
LaJoy's got that new right front tire, and he's taking advantage of it. If he comes up through there running that good with that new tire that he got because of a flat, they'll be calling everybody, tell them look for something to run over.
I think Tim Fedewa just got in the outside wall at turn 2, speaking of flats. But he did manage to pull away, and he will go to pit road.
Yeah, I think the next flat he's got the right side. I think he squared it up pretty good. He did tag the wall.
Yep. David Green and Rick Wilson. And here comes Roy Payne on the outside. And Jack Sprague. The black and red car on the outside. Good tight battle.
You see him so easy for him to run 2 abreast around this racetrack. Good layout for this facility.
The yellow car is Dodder. And Bobby Hamilton at the back of that pack.
Rick Wilson, he's tried that bottom. He's tried it. Where's he working way around it?
Now, of this group, Wilson and Green are on the lead lap. And you may see Chuck Bound in your picture before long here. He is also on the same lap as the race leader. Todd Bodine came by. He's still running, but that engine sounds sicker and sicker.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit more trouble.
Yep. Back to Dr. Hutter. Bobby Hamilton completes the pass on Bobby Dotter. And that won't be for position. Meanwhile, the leader.
And Mike, that's Hermie Sadler directly in front of him. Hermie was able to come around Mark and get a lap back. He's just right out in front of him.
And Steve Grissom has come past Randy LaJoy.
Yeah, he's storming up through there now. He's really making big strides to the front.
Tracy Leslie runs in second right now. Rick Mast is third. And we'll be back to Richmond International Raceway after this. Mark Martin has led 140 of the 218 laps so far, 32 to go. And there is clear sailing out the front of the Winn-Dixie Ford of Jack Roush.
Looks so easy when they run that good. They just drive it in there, drive it right up off the corner.
What have they found?
Jump down that straight. Whoa!
Oops. Flat right side tire on Randy LaJoy again.
Looks like another right front.
Well, he's in the high groove coming out of turn 2.
No caution.
Fighting the wheel.
Look at
now
the
he gets it
rubber
down to the
flying off of
inside. Looks like we'll stay green. Car in the wall at turn 2. Ward Burton bounces off, keeps going. And the hits just keep on coming. Burton's in a Chevrolet. They wrecked their short track car at Bristol. Couldn't get it fixed in time. Here is LaJoy sliding to a halt and watching his chances of winning this race go up in smoke. Randy?
Here, absolutely right. A right front tire cut down. You know, sometimes when you get cars that their chassis works so well, actually the right front could be digging in a little bit. That's what's making it turn so good through the corners. So there's a give and take there. It's a question mark as to whether that could have affected it.
What was he leaving on fire there as he pulled out, I wonder? Let's have another look at it. See if we can pick up what happened to Randy besides that cut tire.
Boy, the tire blew. Let me tell you, the thing that saved him is the 48 car was going around him on the outside. He blew, hit him, and stayed off the wall.
Look at the 27 car. Roy Payne was way up in the marbles and had to save it. LaJoy just proved the 7 wheels corner a heck of a lot better than 3.
Yeah, he kind of leaned on him a little bit. He couldn't help it, but it kept him off that wall.
Those of you tuning in for Nashville now will be joining Ralph Emery in progress in Nashville at the conclusion of tonight's race. There is the tire and rim that came off of LaJoy's car, paired up with its sister that he cut down earlier.
A match set.
No, thank you.
Used up.
Steve Grissom will get a lap back from Mark Martin. Remember, he made that pit stop under green after the last restart and went 2 laps down, so he's now just 1 lap back. And Grissom is shown in 16th position.
There's just 25 laps left to go, but I tell you what, everybody's doing a lot of slipping and sliding. We see a couple of cars use up those right fronts. I'm sure the rest of these guys are concerned with that.
Who's moved to the front, Neil, is Rick Mast. Tommy Houston started that car, and Houston will get the points and the credit. And he's now up to 3rd. Ooh, Mark Martin had a look around Rick Wilson trying to get past and put Wilson on another lap down, or a lap down. Wilson is on the lead lap until this moment. Their second place, Tracy Leslie, in a 72 car, and the 0 of Rick Mast is 3rd.
You know, earlier in the race, we saw the 72 was capable of racing with that 60 car, but now we see someone going around the 72 car back here.
Joe Bessie, David Green, they've been slugging it out for about 7th place. Bobby Dotter, that's 7th, 8th, and 9th right there. Good, hard-nosed, short-track racing.
Get on that outside. You hope that guy knows you're out there. Leave you some room.
Dotter trying the bottom route in that yellow car. And we're now told that is for 5th place. Well, it makes it a better race.
Yeah, it's scoring things off just a little bit right there.
I'd rather run for 5th than 7th any day.
Yeah, pace just a little bit more money.
Robert Presley, I'm 10 laps back, but I'm coming.
These two guys are racing position, and Presley's just racing. He's trying to get up there as far as he can go.
And he's going to go past.
There's Nemechek coming into the picture right there behind him.
Yep, he is a lap down, however. Unofficial.
Yeah, he lost that stuff on that pit stop, and even though he got in there before the caution came out, it cost him some time. Presley's had a long night of it with that carburetor trouble early. He's battling for all he's worth.
David Green, number 2 point man, trying to move up on Grissom, and he will. As right now he is in 5th place, and Steve Grissom is on the tail end of 1 lap down. Bobby Dotter trying to go around Nemechek. Again, not for position, but to try to catch back up to David Green.
Nemechek's a couple laps down. Those tires seem to be working good for him. David Green now.
And Mark Martin just continues to roll around. 23.6 seconds last lap. Very consistent, very smooth, very fast.
Or very slow, whatever the difference is. Even if he slowed down, he's really driving away from him. I say that 72 car is still right there in the picture. We see Mark kind of hung the tail out on that car up off that corner again.
Martin the leader. Tracy Leslie, one of a number of drivers in this circuit. Todd Bodine is another who works on that car day to day all week long. Tracy says, I wreck him, I help fix him. He is 2 seconds behind the leader.
I think that's a good stance for a driver to take too. Learn what makes that thing work. Get a little bit more involved with what's going on. The sport's getting so big now, you see a lot of the drivers not even know really that much what's going on in there. I think it's nice to see some of these drivers get with that race team and figure out what's happening when the car is running.
Well, I mentioned 2 names, but there are a lot of them in this series, Neil, that they don't just bring their helmet bag. They're underneath that car. They're slinging springs at it. They're looking at tires to figure out what to put on it, and really getting a lot more of an education than just being behind the seat.
Well, there's a lot of them don't have the luxury of having that much help in the
right.
series to be able to do that.
That's true. Mark Martin looking for his 5th Busch win of the season. Every time he has finished the race, he has gone to victory lane this year. Got 2 in a row early on here at Richmond and at Rockingham. Just keep coming. His 4 wins, leads the circuit. Robert Presley has 3.
I thought the 72 car of Leslie was closed in a little bit, but looked like he worked the car real hard to see if he can make up some ground, and now Mark's kind of stretched it a little bit on him.
And here's LaJoie coming right back. Now he is laps down after a green flag stop.
A couple of flat tires have really cost him. Right front's going down.
And Robert Presley makes a stop. Elton Sawyer's fine run comes to an end. The hood is up on the Akins and Sutton Ford. They're on pit road. Tough break for Sawyer. Had a good run today. There's the car. And they're going to send him back out.
Yeah, they were looking at that right front wheel like there's a problem with the wheel area. Just jerking on to see if there's something loose.
Rick Wilson has made a pit stop. But this man just keeps right on rolling. 12 laps to go. See if Tracy Leslie can close that gap. Long way back to 3rd place Rick Mast right now. And then Bill Elliott has closed it in 4th. Ernie Sadler up to 5th. David Green in 6th. Bobby Dotter in 7th. 2.8 seconds. Mark Martin's lead over this man, Tracy Leslie, looking for his 2nd Busch Series win. There you saw Elton Sawyer coming out of the pits. Jack Sprague is going to move around the second place car.
Well, that pretty well answers the question. Can the 72 run Mark Martin down? He's pretty well used his stuff up right there.
He's going to need to run these 11 laps down.
Yeah, he's concerned about that guy in third place now because he sees that lead's not going to be able for him to get up there and battle Martin.
He's got a good distance, though, on Rick Mast. Leslie exiting or between 1 and 2 as Mast comes on the front straightaway.
When one gets that bad, you see him really pulling over, letting everybody by. When it gets that bad, you're worried about blowing a tire. You know you've really used it up. Concerned about it just making it to the end.
And you can't stop with 10 laps to go. Give away 2 with 10 to go.
We keep talking about flats. What creates a lot of these flats is to wear all the rubber off the tire, and then you're actually just got cord there. And it's easy to get a flat then when the rubber's gone off the tire.
And Bill Elliott just gave away 4th to Hermie Sadler. I say gave away, but he was on the high side, and his car has kind of fallen off the pace, and Sadler was able to drive underneath and go.
I'll tell you, Sadler's ran a good race. We talked earlier, we saw him unlap himself, and it really paid off now.
He's up to 4th place. The battle behind him is this one. This is for 6th place. Dotter battling Green for 6th.
They've been going at it for several laps.
Tim Pita was going to get past him, but he is laps down. And Hermie Sadler is pulling up on Rick Mast. Here is Sadler. He's got the 3rd place car in his sights. In his sights?
Yeah, and check it out on him.
Bye.
Sadler's car just really seems to have the tires and the car still under it, because, I mean, he's ran some good race cars down in the last 5 or 6 laps.
Young driver announced today with car owner Don Beverly. They're back for next year with the same sponsor, Virginia Tourism. And he's now rolled it up into 3rd place. 6 to go. Mark Martin, about to put a lap on Rick Wilson, has a 3.5 second lead.
Rick Wilson had been in the pits and just came out again.
Right, but you don't see Mark's car sliding to the top of the racetrack and not cutting the corner.
I would pretty well say it's doing just about what he wants to do.
Puts Rick Wilson 2 laps down. Four laps to go.
I guess everybody in the garage area just says, what is going on? You know, you load your race car up every week, you bring the best stuff you got, the best motors, really work on your car, and you continuously get beat by this car right here. Really gets you the second guessing, and sometimes it even makes you get off the pace more by changing stuff, trying to catch him. Here's 2nd place. That's marked down, but I think he's pretty well found out he's just trying to get to the end right here. 3 laps to go.
And now Tracy Leslie's got to be looking in his mirror for Hermie Sadler. Sadler's a ways back. There he is. Martin looks for his 2nd win in a row. And there's Hermie Sadler, the rookie, at work.
Good place for him to run good right here in Virginia with that sponsorship.
Joe Bessie going 1 lap down with 2 to go.
Martin giving everybody a lot of room. He doesn't need any kind of problem here as strong as he's running.
Bobby Hamilton.
I pretty well bet you he'll move on and let that car go.
Yep. 1 to go. Hamilton's going to get a lap back right there.
Let me have this little area behind you. Follow up off this corner. Squirt it down the straightaway. And now I'll practice my victory lane speech.
Again.
He should be getting pretty good at it.
For the 2nd week in a row and the 5th time this season, Mark Martin drives the Jack Roush Winn-Dixie Ford under the checkered flag to win the Autolite Platinum 250. For 2nd place, Tracy Leslie for 3rd. Hermie Sadler for 4th. Rick Mast, and 5th, Bill Elliott. We'll be back to Richmond International Raceway after this. Exclusive coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 on the Nashville Network has been brought to you by Allied Signals Autolite Spark Plugs. Guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go. And by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Let's go down to Victory Lane, Glenn Jarrett.
Well, I believe that's 7 in a row for you, Mark, but you said you weren't counting.
I can't believe it. I tell you what, I feel really good about tomorrow night, too. So, Winn-Dixie, you know, the Goodyear tires were great. This car seemed to run, you know, better the longer we ran on them. The cautions fell, and the competition wanted to come in, you know, appeared to be ready to come in with 100 laps to go. So that played in my favor. If it would have come down to 30 or 40 to go and we'd have gotten tires, it would have been even harder for us. But the way the cautions fell and everything, you know, we got to run so many laps on these tires, it just worked out. Winn-Dixie and Ford, this thing's just hooked up. I don't know what else to say about it.
And like he said, he feels really good about tomorrow night. Congratulations on a great run. And I think the last guy that I can remember winning race besides Mark Martin was Neil Bonnet.
Give him a thumbs up.
It was a ways back, that's for sure. Nashville Now will follow our race coverage. We'll be back with final results and point standings after this. At Richmond, Mark Martin wins it. Tracy Leslie is second. Hermie Sadler third. Rick Mast is fourth. And Bill Elliott finishes fifth. Bobby Dotter's sixth. David Green seventh. All of them on the lead lap. Joe Bessie winds up in eighth, a lap down. Dale Jarrett ninth. Steve Grissom is 10th. Joe Nemechek 11th. Randy LaJoy in 12th. Jack Sprague in 13th. Chuck Bound was 14th. Roy Payne, Rick Wilson, Tim Fedewa, Todd Bodine. Clark and Sperling the top 20, then Bobby Hamilton, Ward Burton, Sterling Marlin, Jim Bound, Elton Sawyer, Robert Presley way back in 26 tonight. Nathan Butke, Ricky Craven 28th. He'll drop in the points. Mike Waltrip, then Rich, Steele, Labonte, that's Terry, Spencer, Purvis, Jeff Burton, and Tom Peck. When seconds count, there's no time for second best. Craftsman, official tools of NASCAR, presents the Busch point standing. Steve Grissom, still the point leader. David Green now 155 behind. Joe Nemechek in third, Robert Presley fourth, Chuck Bound in fifth, Ricky Craven drops to sixth ahead of Bobby Dotter, moves up to seventh, best ever for him. Hermie Sadler eighth, Ward Burton, and Todd Bodine.
I tell you, another Mark Martin win, but you can see Mark in his face. He's almost saying, how long can this continue? He says, what else can I say? He said it all, and it just keeps happening.
We're going to send you back to Nashville, and Nashville Now, which is already in progress. Ralph's guests tonight are Ray Price, Lawrence Henderson, and the Osborne brothers. For Randy Pembert and Glenn Jarrett and Neil Bonnet, I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Mark Martin on his win at Richmond.
And Daddy, get your